Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Bella. I am the patient onboarding team lead at Apricity, so just helping with the patients that are coming through. And tonight I have with me Abby, who is our lead donor coordinator at Apricity. We also have Debs, who is a 3 times donor with Apricity. She'll be sharing a bit of her experience with us. We also have Tracy, who is the surrogacy manager at Brilliant Beginnings. And we have Nikki, who was a surrogate with Brilliant Beginnings. So she'll be sharing a bit of her experience as well. So for us to get started, I'll just be handing over to Abby initially so she can start giving us a bit of information. So Abby, the floor is yours.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm Abby, so I'm the lead donor coordinator at Apricity. I've been here for just over 4 years, and my focus has always been on onboarding our amazing donors. So I'm just going to kind of talk to you a bit about that and then hand over to Debs. Let's just start off with who can become an egg donor in the UK. So you have to be a non-smoker. That includes vaping for up to 3 months. You have to be aged between 18 and 36, a BMI of 18, between 18 and 35, currently living in the UK and registered with a GP, and have no serious health conditions or inheritable diseases. And if you are unsure on that one, please drop us an email or book in a call and we'll assess that with you. Perfect. So are egg donors paid? So yes, egg donors can receive compensation of up to £985 per donation cycle. On the 1st of October this year, that changed. It was originally £750, and it's been the first increase since 2011, which is incredible and very welcomed. So your compensation can cover anything like your train fares to your appointments, petrol, childcare costs, or covering time off work. And how that works is you can get reimbursed for kind of bits and bobs throughout the process, or you can kind of save it up and have it in one lump sum towards the end. Perfect. So the process of becoming an egg donor. So in your first call, I will talk to you a bit about the process and make sure you're kind of comfortable and you feel like it is something that you can do. Mainly in this first call, we'll go through quite an in-depth questionnaire, which covers anything from family medical history to personal medical history to your own fertility. And based on this, we'll either be able to proceed straight away, or it might kind of raise a few things that need to be checked by our doctor. So we have what's called a donor review meeting once a week, where we sit down with our doctor and our geneticist, and they will assess your suitability to become an egg donor, just so it is safe for everyone moving forward. Once we have the all good from the doctors, the next step is for us to post you out what's called an anti-Müllerian hormone test, also known as an AMH test. So this is a finger prick test you can do at home, and it will give us a good indicator of your fertility levels at the moment. And these levels do have to be within a certain threshold to be able to donate. So it will just indicate that we're going to hopefully have a successful outcome and likely to produce a good amount of numbers for our recipients. At the same time, we ask you to complete a personal profile. So this will allow us to get to know you a bit better and help us match you as best as we can, hopefully to someone that shares similar hobbies and similar morals and background. And we also ask for some photographs. So we ask for 2 childhood photos under the age of about 5 or 6 years old. So 2 cute baby photos if possible, and 1 recent photo, which is purely for us for the matching purposes. So nobody else will see that. Also now at this stage, we'll book you in for a local scan. As a virtual clinic, we have clinics all over the UK, so we'll check your postcode, find your nearest clinic and get you booked in for a quick scan. And this is called an antral follicle count, so seeing how many follicles you have on each ovary. So with the AMH and the scan, our doctor will then assess whether we can get things going. Before going proceeding, we'll also book you in for what's called implications counselling, which is a one-off session. It takes around 45 minutes. It can be done online, and it is encouraged if you have children with your partner or you've been with your partner a long time that they do sit in on the session, just to make sure that they're really comfortable and aware of the process you're about to go through and you have support at home. So once the initial screening's done, you'll then have your genetic screening. So this is what takes a little while to come back. So this can take up to 4 to 6 weeks to come back, just because you're screened for loads of different things. And then once we have them test back, we can then look towards your final 2 weeks of the process, where that's kind of where it all happens. So stimulation is what's called kind of your final 2 weeks. So it's a 2-week period of injections and local scans to monitor how the follicles are growing. So this process stimulates the ovaries and prepares you for your egg collection. The egg collection will be in either London or Manchester. It is a minor procedure that takes around 15 to 20 minutes. Your eggs will be collected transvaginally under ultrasound guidance. Generally, there are around 5 to 10 eggs collected per cycle, but any eggs that are collected, you would have kind of naturally lost that amount during your period cycle, so it shouldn't interfere with your own fertility. And yeah, we went into the compensation. So with the compensation, you can claim up to £585 from having your counselling up until your egg collection. And now 3 months after your egg collection, we'll book you in for a quick blood test. And as long as you complete that blood test, you'll be sent your remaining £400 compensation, and your eggs will be released from quarantine and somebody will be able to use them. So is donation anonymous in the UK? So this is kind of a yes and no. So at the point of donating, it is anonymous. So your recipient won't know who you are and vice versa. However, at the age of 18, any donor conceived child can contact the HFEA for identifying information. And if this was to happen, you would receive a letter informing you that they had attempted to contact. You would be offered supportive counselling, but ultimately there is no legal obligation to have any kind of relationship. So this is up to the donor in the future. Yeah, and just to end, so we have an amazing app which all of our fertility advisors use. So you can contact your advisor at any time, whether it's weekend, evening, and we are on hand to support you through our app or on the phone whenever you need us. So I'm going to hand over to Debs now, our amazing donor, who's donated 3 times before.
Thank you so much for that, Abby. And that's always really, really useful. I love like hearing about it again, because it was such a long time since I've done it. And I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. That's yeah, it's such a long time ago. But yeah, hello everyone. So my name's Debs. As Abby said, I've donated 3 times with Apricity, 2000 ranging from 2016 to 2019. And you know, there's, in terms of why, I think I get a lot of questions, you know, why did you choose to do this? And I have 2 children of my own. I didn't have to try very hard to get them, and I had a lot of friends and family who really struggled with fertility and infertility in some cases. So it was all about, well, what can I do help, and there was lots of things I could do emotionally to support, and I had no idea that there was actually something I could do physically that would help a family. So I started looking into egg donation online randomly. It was Twitter at the time. And I made contact with Apricity because I really loved the morals behind it. And there was a lot of heart and a lot of soul and genuine kindness from everyone that I spoke to. And I was supported the entire journey, and even afterwards, I had people checking up on me, making sure I was okay. So yeah, it was a really, really beautiful journey that I went on 3 times with Apricity, and some children were actually born from it, which was absolutely amazing, that I know of. There could be more, but I don't know. But yes, so it was really, really beautiful, and I genuinely kind of say to anyone considering it, you know, you've done an amazing thing by even sitting here and listening to us talk on this webinar. But if there's any questions or any queries that you have, I would just say, you know, reach out, any doubts, because these these beautiful staff members at Apricity, you could not be more supported and cared for.
Thanks, Debs. That was really nice. Really great to hear the experience coming directly from a donor.
Yeah.
And of course, if you do want to learn more about becoming a donor, or just want to learn more about the process and things like that, you can book a call with Abby and just have a one-to-one conversation, get all of that information out there, and then see if that's something that would help you. And on that note, Abby, I do have a couple of questions that were sent through, and I was just wondering if you could help us with that.
Yeah.
So the two questions that came through were, where are your clinics located, and how many times can I donate eggs? So
Sure.
would you be able to, just let us know more about that?
Sure. So, as a virtual fertility clinic, we work with clinics all over the UK. So, like I said, in our first call together, we would take your address and we'd find your local clinic. However, your final scan and egg collection will still have to be in London or Manchester. But yeah, as a virtual clinic, we can do many of your appointments, consultations online, and a lot of scans can be done locally, which is ideal. Sorry, what was the other one? How
many times can I donate eggs?
So a donor can help create up to 10 families. So now at Apricity, you can donate to more than one person at the same time. So it's up to kind of us and you to kind of keep track and make sure you don't exceed that 10. But we have lots of repeat donors coming through all the time, which is amazing.
Perfect. Thank you. Right. So next, we're going to be handing it over to Tracy to tell us a little bit more about becoming a surrogate and just, Brilliant Beginnings and next steps from here.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Tracy from Brilliant Beginnings. I'm a surrogate manager here, and I've been doing this role for around 5 years now. My journey started myself as an egg donor. I did 2 donations, and it was the clinic I did that through that suggested surrogacy to me, which felt like quite a natural progression from egg donation. Again, it was helping other people in a similar way, really. So I looked at the different agencies available and chose Brilliant Beginnings because of the way they match their teams together. That stood out for me. And that's how I went on to have 2 journeys with Brilliant Beginnings as a surrogate myself, giving birth to a little girl for my intended parents back in 2018. So now working in this role, I'm able to help other ladies, supporting other ladies, help other families in a similar way. So to do that, we would need people to be at least 21 years of age, have a BMI between 19 and 30, maximum of 35 for some clinics, live in the UK, have given birth to at least 1 child themselves. So they know what they're signing up for, and know that they can safely carry a pregnancy to term. Have a good support network around them. So it doesn't matter if they're single, married, what their relationship status is, but it is really important that they've got a good support network around them. Willing to go through the screening preparation program, and then the fertility treatment following that. So that's our sort of initial criteria. And then looking, age range, I got into becoming a surrogate because I was too old to do egg donation again. So a lot of our surrogates do range from sort of 35, or anything from 25 through to sort of late 30s and even early 40s, as a sort of average. Anyone over the age of 40 would need to have a few more checks to make sure everything's okay, sort of finding out when their last pregnancy was, and maybe an extra scan to make sure everything's okay. But yeah, sort of quite a vast sort of age range available. So I mean, ultimately, we are sort of helping people who selflessly want to help someone else. So very similar traits in egg donors and surrogates, helping other people achieve a dream of having their own family. So our screening process, initially it would start with a call with myself. We'd pop on a call and talk about any sort of questions that you may have about being a surrogate. So not a lot of people know a lot about surrogacy initially. So it's not until you start exploring or looking into it. So it's very natural to have a lot of questions at the beginning. So happy to talk through what they might be. Following that, we would send you the application form and ask you to complete that and send that back to us. And then we'd have a call to review that application form to make sure I understand everything you've put down in that, and again answer any questions that might have come from you doing that. We would then ask to, we'd have a call with you and your main support person, whether that is your partner or if you're single, sort of friend, best friends, mum, sister, whoever that might be, and just talk through a little bit more about the screening process, what to expect. Sorry, I'm talking. And then again, sort of making sure that they're on the same page as your questions, that you've answered, and they're happy with everything. We would talk a little bit more about intended parents with your support person as well, who they see, who they think would be a good match for you personality wise, and sort of talk a little bit more about that if you've got sort of thoughts around who you'd like to help and any sort of preferences there. We do start gathering a lot of information from you, putting it all together. We'd get DBS checks. We'd reach out to your GP as well, making sure that there's, from their point of view, no reason why you couldn't carry another pregnancy. We start building a profile on you. We do use profiling as the way we match people. So we want to make sure that you are being matched with the right people. It's very bespoke how we match people. It's not like for next IPs, however long they've been waiting. It is very much down to getting the right match for you. So we build that profile. We ask you to write a Dear IP letter. We ask the intended parents to write a Dear Surrogate letter. So that is a letter that you write to your intended parents, although you don't know them at the moment. It's just about sort of explaining who you are, your background, and what's brought you to surrogacy, why you want to do this for somebody. And again, they sort of mirror that and explain a little bit more about why they need a surrogate, what sort of why they've come to this from their point of view. And just telling you a little bit more about their sort of day-to-day life, any pets they've got and things like that, their hobbies and interests. So it starts a little bit, in the profile, it's the personal touch of sort of you get to know them. You'll also have photos from them. You'll have their references. And yeah, it's all sort of starts building up a picture about them really. So we also look at working out your expenses. This is done before you're matched with anybody, so that it's not something you're trying to work out with intended parents that you've just met. We do it prior to that point, so that you can get, once you're matched, you can get to know, you concentrate on getting to know the intended parents and the sort of fun side of things. The expenses we work through with you, we go through, we've got a spreadsheet that we sort of help and give you a lot of pointers for different things. Some might not be relevant for you, you might want other things in there. The expenses are very varied from surrogate to surrogate, and they're bespoke to your situation, your home life, and what that would include for you. So we do help you work that out. And then you will have implications counselling as well. We have that, it's an hour session with one of our counsellors. And again, you will have that with your support person, so that you're both being spoken to about the journey, the implications of the surrogacy journey and how that could impact your home life. Just make sure, get you really thinking about what's involved in a surrogacy journey, and yeah, going through that for you. So you're sort of helping you prepare for your journey ahead. We do a psychological evaluation that's run by a psychologist that is also a dad through surrogacy himself. He was also, he's got 2 children through surrogacy, and he goes through, and we use this, very helpful. It does help with the way we match you with your intended parents. So he might make suggestions on personality types that would be a good match for you. He might suggest recommendations for a surrogate that we can also make sure that are reflected in your expenses, maybe extra counselling for different situations. But yeah, it's very helpful in making sure that we've got that support for you post-birth especially. We finalise your expenses, and then everything is put together on your profile. So yeah, it's all drawn together there, and that's what we, like I say, mirror with the intended parents. So they're having the client manager putting together their profile, I'm putting together the surrogate's profile, and then when we get to the last, one of the last calls that we do is the graduation call with the surrogate, and on that call we sort of celebrating, sort of finishing the screening side of things, and getting very excited about the match, the upcoming match. And ideally at that point, we do want to be able to talk to you about the intended parents that we have in mind for you. So it's very high level information we're giving you at that point. It's very all anonymous. So it's very staged approach, the matching part of things, so that you feel comfortable at each stage and that you're happy to progress at each stage, so that yeah, we do get the match right. So we're telling you very high level information, sort of location, sort of what jobs your intended parents do, what's brought them to surrogacy, and a little bit more about their backgrounds and their hobbies and interests and things. So you can start to get a picture of what that looks like. And if everyone, we then talk to the intended parents about yourself, if you're happy with them. And then if everyone's happy to progress, that's when we do the profile exchange. So we exchange profiles. We do this at the same stage, at the same time. Literally both will go out at the same time to make sure that everyone's getting the information, receiving the information, not ahead of each other or anything like that. If once the profiles have been read and everyone's happy, and if everyone wants to move forward, we'll then move to a match call. And that's with the client manager who's going to be supporting them as a team going forward. Myself as client manager, as surrogate manager, the intended parent, surrogate, and her support person. We have a bit of a loose agenda that we do go through on that match call to make sure that there's no awkward silences. when there's not normally a regular, not normally the case. Once we sort of get people together, they're normally quite keen to get talking. But we do make sure we do cover a lot of things on that call, just so that you can start talking about the journey ahead. And if everyone's happy after that match call, that's when they come back to us individually and let us know that they're happy. And at that point, if everyone's happy to proceed, then that's when the match will happen. So, and it's at that point that we'll exchange details and names and things so that you can make contact yourself sort of from there. So, exciting, very exciting bringing teams together and helping in this way. But yeah, if anyone is interested, then you're more than welcome to reach out, have a call, talk to me and ask me any questions that you have from there.
Tracy, there is one question for you actually, that was sent beforehand, which is where would the screening take place and how long would it take? To be able to advise on that?
Yeah, no worries. So screening generally takes about 12 weeks. It does depend on surrogate situation, if she's, working, if she's a stay-at-home mum. I have screened people in around 8 weeks, is probably the quickest. But generally we work to your time scale. So if there's, if you're happy to proceed quicker, then that's not, we work with that. That's not a problem. But we don't like to rush you through if that's not what you're looking for. So all of the screening does take place online or virtually. And even with the counsellors and the psychologist, it's all done online. So you don't have to go anywhere for that side of things. And then once you're matched, the intended parents, they would have made embryos already. And a lot of them will be more than happy to move them to a clinic that would be closer to the surrogate for the fertility treatment to happen. So yeah, we'll sort of help facilitate that happening there. So I believe we're going to actually hear from one of our surrogates now. We've got Nikki, who's willing to share her story, and she was a surrogate literally a year ago this week. So yeah, they're excited to hear her tell her story.
Thank you, Tracy. That was lovely. Just like you said, hearing you talk about the process, like the graduation call. I'd forgotten about that, and that just warmed my soul hearing you say such an exciting time. So yes, my name's Nikki. I gave birth to a little girl for my intended parents this time last year in October 23. Tracy's invited me on tonight to share my experience as a surrogate, which was an extremely positive one. I absolutely loved my surrogacy journey and feel very lucky, and it still blows my mind to this day just how transformative and empowering it all was, and how I've come out of it the other side with best friends in my IPs. So I applied in December 2021, which seems like forever ago. We firstly went through the screening process that Tracy touched on. You meet Tracy, she's lovely. And that really is the first step of learning and understanding the process. It helped me feel confident, it helped my partner feel confident, it answered any queries and questions we had. There was nothing Tracy couldn't answer. We felt fully informed, and it really is such a thorough process, a lot more thorough than I think anyone can actually imagine until you start the ball rolling. It's very surrogate based, which is why my IPs say that they chose Brilliant Beginnings. And for me, obviously being a surrogate, it was perfect. There are multiple surrogacy agencies in the UK, but after loads of thorough research, Brilliant Beginnings is the most thorough and is surrogate based. So they were fantastic. I can't sing Tracy's praises enough. She was just fab and so lovely and warm, and just excited, just really excited for the journey that she was going to help us go on. So once we did that, we went through the matching process. I think my matching process was about 8 weeks. I think was I the quickest Trace to get through? Yeah. So I was so excited. Any form that Tracy sent over, I would fill out there and then on the spot, send it back and wait for her reply. So yeah, we went through the matching process, and you really are matched on anything and everything, from your dreams, your hopes, what you want for the future, whether you want to have a relationship, whether you don't, and all your preferences in between. We were so well matched. And we were well matched on things that were never discussed. We've had so many coincidences reveal themselves over the years. My IP's parents and families, they all grew up about 5 minutes down the road from me, but we weren't matched on that. So the team do their job so well, they just have an idea of who you are as people. And we were matched so incredibly well, and that speaks volumes now, coming out the other side of it and still having a lovely relationship, and we just call each other friends now. So yeah, we were able to establish our relationship quite quickly because we were matched so well, and they are so thorough. Then after the matching process, we had a couple of months where you have a kind of period of bonding as a team. So we had a lot of fun together. We had meals out, afternoon teas. We'd visit each other's houses. We spent time with the children. I have got 3 daughters of my own. So we had a lot of fun and a lot of child-friendly days out. And it was kind of a way of showing my IPs that this is going to be them in a few years. And that was really lovely. So yeah, we had a lot of fun experiences. And it was quite interesting listening to Debs say that people always ask why do you do it? Well, my why was very similar to Deb, that I was really lucky and fortunate to not struggle to conceive with my children. And they are my absolute everything. And I always say to people, why wouldn't I? It's not why would I, it's why wouldn't I? If I can help in that way, and I love being pregnant and I find giving birth empowering, then why wouldn't I help? So yeah, that was interesting, that parallel with Deb when I heard her say that earlier. So yes, alongside this kind of bonding process, you have your legal side. Again, that was thorough. We had wills being prepared. We had the surrogacy agreement, which is basically your contract, where it covers everything. And you discuss kind of all scenarios, so there's no uncertainty going forward. You're never going to get to a place where something happens and no one has a clue what's going on, because everything is spoken about so thoroughly and there's just no uncertainty. So once that side was kind of wrapped up, that took a month or 2, and we then went on for fertility treatment. And this is all part of the journey, which is different for each team. We didn't start treatment until summer 2022, and we didn't get pregnant until January 2023. So our fertility journey took, I think, just over 6 months in the end. We had a couple of cycles that weren't successful. We had a couple of delays. We paused over Christmas, and then January 23, we had a successful cycle, which was our 3rd one. And I spent all of 2023 pregnant and gave birth to a beautiful little girl in the October. My relationship with the guys was fantastic during pregnancy. We were so well supported by Brilliant Beginnings. We had a lovely client manager, Gemma, that was assigned to us. And again, coming out the other side of it, I can confidently say that she's a friend now. She always checks in still, even though she doesn't have to. You know, it's just lovely. Always checking in, always sending candles and little boxes in the post with toiletries and skincare and just cards to say I'm thinking of you and good luck at transfer and all of this. So they really are so supportive and gorgeous at Brilliant Beginnings. I can't say enough. But alongside that, you also have a community of surrogates. There's a Facebook page and a WhatsApp group, and Tracy organises loads of retreats. So we have some lovely afternoon teas all over the country a couple of times a year, and everyone meets up. So, and that's another incredible side of it, because any worries I had as a surrogate, I could go and talk to another more experienced surrogate that's had fertility treatment before, and things like that. And everyone just bonded because you're all in the same boat. You all are mind blown and can't quite believe that this magical journey is happening, and everyone's excited, and it's just so positive, and lovely. So yeah, our relationship during the pregnancy went strength to strength. And then we had a beautiful birth. I'm smiling because I ended up giving birth in a bath in the end. But again, you build so much trust and rapport with your intended parents because of Brilliant Beginnings being so incredible. That yeah, we always just giggle about it now. That I actually gave birth in a bath, and we were all there just laughing, like, what is going on? So yes, and now we're kind of at the point where we see each other every month or two, which is really lovely, and they are just friends now. I had extra support during my journey from Brilliant Beginnings. I had some life changes, so I had some extra counselling, which was fantastic. So they really are, it's such a person-centred, team-centred approach that Brilliant Beginnings have. It's just fantastic. I could talk about them all day. I could talk about surrogacy all day too.
Thanks, Nikki. That was so lovely to hear. Actually, it's really great to hear because it's such a big thing to do for someone, and yeah, it's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. And yeah, if anyone is interested in learning more about becoming a surrogate or would like to potentially go through an application, you can just book a call with Tracy and then get started with your journey. Just need to scan the QR code, and then yeah, you'll be able to go through the next steps from there. And yeah, there aren't at the moment, there aren't any more questions. Are there any more questions from you guys who are watching, who are here? Because yeah, if not, then I suppose that is it. I thank everyone for joining tonight. Thank you so much for being here with us, for going through the journey, learning more about it. And we really hope to hear from you soon in case you want to learn more about the journeys. And thank you so much. A massive thank you to Tracy, Abby, Nikki, and Debs. It was really great to hear from all of you, getting all of that information. And yeah, hopefully we can help more families moving forward.